I want you to think back with me to a video game that changed your life or the way you view things as a person. Maybe even some of these games are ones you've loved. The first game on the list is Doom, both classic and new. Doom influenced the first-person shooter genre for me for life, and it was the main reason that my YouTube channel grew to where it is, thanks to you. It taught me that you can have a game that you really enjoy, dig deep into it, put hours in, and have an awesome escape and a place to just go and have fun, if you need to get away for a while, or whatever the reason may be. Its longevity has led me to be a fan of it for the last 30 years, and not many games can say that they stick with you from childhood, kindergarten age, all the way up through adulthood, mid-30s, having your own kids. When a game is able to transcend just general gaming and stick with you on and off your whole entire life, what can you say about that other than, wow, not many games can do this? And what's really cool about Doom is when you get into the modern games, 2016 and Eternal, they are what have pushed my YouTube channel mostly for the subscribers and the views and community that we have today. So not only have I gotten to build a community off of this, I get to use YouTube videos that I enjoy making to help provide for my family with my job. I mean, I just can't thank it enough for being that influential point in my life. Who would have thought a video game that I grew up playing as a kid, shooting enemies, would turn into something so impactful for me as an adult? Now, I had to turn down the music for this next one for a minute. Final Fantasy VII taught me a very important life lesson, and it taught me about death. I mean, sure, this is one of the biggest RPGs I first ever got myself into, and I remember when my first file froze the time at 99 hours, minutes, and seconds, but there's a much deeper aspect to this. The death aspect of Aeris, one of the characters. Now, you might be thinking that it's crazy that a video game could teach you a life lesson like this. Well, you have to remember, this was my first game. I was 8 to 10 years old that really dove in deep, and when she died, it was the horrific hands of Sephiroth, the main villain, with a sword through her back. This character death shook me. It was the first game that I actually got emotional over as a kid. You spend all this time leveling up this character, getting these items, thinking about where they're going next in the game with the story, what's going to happen with the main character, only to have it all stripped away because one of the villains decided to brutally stab her through the back. This is real life, and it's not fair, and it sucks, but it happens, and it's truth. Now, you have to think, at 8 to 10 years old, I didn't have that life experience yet. I mean, sure, I had a puppy that passed away sometime prior, but I didn't really truly get it. This came to me at the perfect time in that I was old enough to start to understand life and what really went into it, but young enough to where I hadn't experienced it yet for myself. So to be suddenly shoved and submerged into this reality that this character that I spent time leveling up, you grow attached to, and you spend time watching them in the story, this character was gone. They were never coming back. And that's a hard pill to swallow for a kid that wasn't even 2 numerical digits old yet. It may be a little controversial to say that this video game taught me this, but what's really important is this. This was a soft way to introduce me to a topic without having real-world implications. It taught me that life, it's finite, it's fleeting, it's but a vapor, and that we aren't guaranteed tomorrow, even if it's a video game character. And it did it in a way that my child brain up here was not traumatized by it. It did it in a way that was soft enough, yet real enough for me to understand at the time. So let's move over to a slightly happier yet also sinister note that Runescape taught me. Yes, Runescape taught me about economy and dishonesty. I started this game in 2001. I was probably 13 years old, and man, the fond memories are there. I learned about the basics of an economy, buying, selling, trading, and bartering, how bulk works, how individual sales work through a video game. And my typing skills improved too. But when you type buying raw lobster 1,000 times, how can they not? If you played it, you definitely know what I mean. But unfortunately, this game was where I was scammed for the very first time. I learned that not everybody out in this world has your best interest in mind. They will just do what they want to benefit and better their own selves and their wealth. And I found this out firsthand. I actually remember the gentleman's username, Ace2Ace. If you're watching this, Ace, I forgive you, buddy. But I just didn't realize that someone out there would lie and cheat and steal from me, a 7th grade kid. Feel no remorse. They had no idea who I was, all to further their own personal gain and wealth. And it was a nasty trick too. I put up an axe that I wanted to trade him, and he put up a better axe the next tier up, which doesn't make sense. Why would you trade that, right? Taking advantage of a kid. So when I went to go accept that trade, he switched the axes at the last moment, and I saw the change. I saw it before my very eyes whisk away, and then I knew, oh no, stop. But it was too late. The accept button was clicked, and my fate was sealed as we stood between the Al-Kharid and Varrock intersection in classic RuneScape. He walked away with my axe, and I was stuck there at that intersection, wondering why someone would do this to me. These hard life lessons come through video games, but it's not all doom and gloom. Actually, Clash of Clans taught me about leadership and accountability. So I joined a clan called the War Snipers, where we coordinated wars each other to get loot in the most efficient way possible. And there were, I think, 8 to 10 family clans, letters A, B, C, and onward, and I joined 2.B. Now I worked my way up the ranks, got co-leader, and really showed that I wanted to help the clan and lead them. And then when it was time for the leader to resign, he promoted me to leader. So that meant that I would coordinate between the 50 clan members we had, the whole entire family as well, and through another app, the opponents that we had as we coordinated and fixed up these wars. This taught me that I was in charge with others of a whole group. What my decisions that I made mattered for these other people in the wars that we were in. I also had to learn to work alongside other people in a leadership position through a video game. Now, this also taught me that I'm accountable for my own actions and the actions of my clan. If something is sliding by and I don't address it as a leader, that falls back on me, and not just me, but the entire clan family that I represented as the leader of War Snipers 2.B. And you really have to think about your actions and the implications of things that you may not think matter. Well, what if they really do? Next up on the list is Return to Castle Wolfenstein. It taught me teamwork and diversity. So this was my first true online multiplayer shooter experience. I was a freshman in high school. This was around 2001. You gotta think, this was early internet. The internet, when Al Gore invented it, if you catch that reference, when the 90s was just starting to boom up a little bit past the bulletin board and other early internet. And this is when I got my broadband modem, wasn't on dial-up. I got to meet people around the world and play this game that I'd never seen before. And when you really get to get outside of your general area and the scope that the internet started to bring upon us in the 90s and 2000s, you see that there are a lot of different types of people out there. Some near to you, some far to you, some same, some different, but you have to learn the teamwork with this diversity so you can get along with them. You have to understand and not play selfishly and say, hey, I have to do what's best for the team, what's best for my teammates, even though they may be different, even though they may disagree with me on some things. We still have a common goal that we're trying to reach, and we need to get along to reach that goal. I need to go to the practices for the clan because my performance falls back on me and also impacts the rest of the clan. If I slack off, then when it comes time for a league play, what's going to happen? I need to learn the strategies and the teamwork that I agreed to and try to do the best I can for them as well. Now, you also have to balance real life with gaming. I'm sure they understood that, I had school and I couldn't stay up super late, so they really knew what they were getting into when they brought me on as a teammate, hence the diversity. I think we had practices at around 8:30 p.m., was it Tuesday, Thursday, or something like that, and I couldn't really make most of them because of school. But everyone had that learning experience in this early internet day and age to really get along with each other and learn teamwork. If we really wanted to sit down, we could probably find 50 games that really impacted our life, so let me know in the comments below what you think, or if you'd like me to make another video like this. Check out the next video here on Burnout. I am Austin. Thank you for watching.